Hoo boy, here we go, rock and roll, y'all. Crazy, beautiful late January day. I'm sitting in my boat because I'm working on fishing tackle. Oh yeah, it gets a lot better than what it's been. I'm thinking about what my wife has said, a couple things she's talked about. I think it's pretty interesting. So we'll be back talking about my wife and her comments in just a second. I'm Dale Verts. I'm old school. Hope this works for y'all. The sun's bright and beautiful. It's like 55 degrees out here. Actually the nicest day of the week, but that's not the day you go fishing. You go fish on the nasty days. That's when the fish bite best. That's just proven. Watching the Bassmasters show, the second episode of the cast. It's really a cool show. First was on Rick Clunn, this one kind of was on Larry Nixon, but they also talking about B.A.S.S and history. My wife asked, when they were talking about the old classics and the 10-pound tackle reel. Now, if you didn't know what that was, in the old days, in the 70s, you was limited to, I don't know how many rods and reels, 4 or 5 rods and reels, and 10 pounds of tackle. They made a big deal of that tackle thing. They'd send you a tackle box, a plain old box. You'd put your 10 pounds of tackle in it. And before the tournament started, they make a big deal about weighing it. And if you was over, Ray Scott got to go through the box, him and Harold Sharp, and they picked out the baits they wanted to keep for themselves. You didn't get them back. Simple, simple. And those guys caught bass. That's where I'm at. And look at me, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 14, 15 rods out here right now. There's more in the box. I can do it on 4 or 5. Don't make it a challenge. My wife, though, who's watching this, she watches stuff with me. She watches guitar stuff, music theory stuff I never thought she'd watch. She watches the bait making things. And she watches this old Bassmaster stuff. She gets a kick out of it. She gets a kick out of Randy and his rants, because she's a believer in, when she grew up, I know it's a rant. Hold on. It's gonna be, I promise this will turn into something. She grew up with grandparents at Table Rock Lake, so she knows exactly what Randy's talking about. We saw how bad it was last year. Decimated, beat up, destroyed, cutting mountaintops off. So she gets that part of what Randy's talking about. She also gets the technology part. And I don't preach it to her. She gets it from the way she sees the way that I am, the way she sees, here's what Randy talks about. But her thing this morning was this. The second time in a week she made a comment. We're going to talk about both of them. She said, well, they just need to go back to that 10 pound of tackle. That's what they need to do. See how these kids do with that. This is my wife forming her own opinions from what she ain't getting it from me, y'all. I'm not sitting there preaching to her about how anti-forward facing sonar that I am, because I'm not as anti as Randy, because I can't do nothing about it. But anyway, she understands me in the old school, and she understands my frustration with my fish and how I have a hard time getting it figured back out. They just need to go back to that. Well, that 10 pound thing always hurt me. That was tough. You go in the lake, especially, you never even knew where that lake was in the old days. They didn't tell you. You didn't know you was on the airplane going. You know, if you're going to a grass lake or a canyon lake or deep clear water, muddy shallow water, that's guts fishing, y'all. Yeah, we need more of that. 10 pounds of tackle might hurt. I've got 10 pounds in a couple boxes. Whatever. Put me in a tournament like that, I'll be the first one to show up with no modern technology. 10, 5 pound, whatever, 3 rod, whatever. I'll be the first one, if I can, to show up at that tournament. You're darn right I will. Man. So, last week or so, with all this stupid weather, we watched too much YouTube. So it's so nice to get out here today. I don't know how it come about. We were watching a Bassmaster or something, and somebody made a comment about 18-foot boats, 150 horsepower outboards. In the day, B.A.S.S limited you to 150s. That was it. When I fished B.A.S, 150. I bought my new Skeeter in 97 because I intended to fish more B.A.S tournaments. I bought an 18-footer of 150. I think it cost me my full-blown pro team deal by not going with a 20 and a 200 or 225 because everybody else was doing that. The next year it all went away. I think 98 it changed because FLW had come along and changed it. I'm sure that's what happened. Why don't we just go back? Well, now I tell you, hypocrite, I'm sitting here in a 20-foot boat, an old 20-footer, but it's a 20-footer. I live at Lake the Ozarks. I like the ride, the comfort, stability. Put us all in 18-footers, 150s, I'm right there. Sign me up. I'll figure out what to do with my 8-foot fishing poles. That's the problem with shorter boats more than anything, is storage. They probably have to build boats special. Oh, yeah. 18-foot boat, 150s, 10 pounds of tackle, ouch. 5 rods and reels, maybe 6. Only 3 can be on the deck at any given time. Is that too much? Oh, come on, y'all. All us old guys would be there, I think. And the young guys are sharp, and there's some of them out there, young guys that can still do it. See the pants, guts fishing. My wife's pretty smart, ain't she? I think she's smart. Those 150 days in 18-foot boats, although, yes, to a degree, more dangerous in the big waters, but when you're fishing the St. Lawrence Seaway in 15, 20-mile-an-hour winds, I don't think you gotta be out there in any boat. I never have done that, but I have ran some huge rolling waves on Lake the Ozarks. They come at you from every direction. Lake the Ozarks is a totally different kind of rough water than the St. Lawrence Seaway in winds. I remember hearing stories back in the day about guys falling down in a trough in 15-foot of water with 15-foot waves and hitting the bottom, tearing lower units off. That was in the 150 days, those stories were. So yeah, there's limits. And the big boats are wonderful. I have no use for a 21-footer. I like my 20-foot boat. I like stability, I like ride. But a big old wide 18-footer could get her done too. The 150 be less money. Oh no, they'd jack the money up. If it all went to that, they'd have $100,000 18-footers. Can't get away from that money crap, can we? So I want to brag on my wife. Been married, be 31 years in a couple weeks. 3 weeks. I keep saying a couple weeks. 3 weeks. I won't forget. She understands why so many people don't. Why it's got to be bigger, bigger, bigger. And yes, I have 3 crankbait rods right here. Now I've got I'm taking rods out too. Got 3 crankbait rods right there, and I got a 4th one in the boat. Is that necessary? No. Is it handy? Yeah. Why I use all 4 of them? If I'm trying to figure out fish, yeah, because there'll be 4 different kinds of crankbaits on. The jerkbait, same way, at least 5 jerkbait rods in the boat. And switching things over from last time I fished, December 23rd. About 3 rods with jigs and 3 rods with grubs, or 4. And an A-rig rod sitting there. Quite a few rods. They won't all be out at one time, I hope. No tournaments. I'm just going to go fishing and enjoy myself, and to try to redevelop my old skills and maybe develop some new ones because I haven't done this in so long. So yeah, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I would happily, if I could, fish tournaments with flashers in the front, flasher, I don't care, flasher in the back. That graph does not have to be turned on. I've got several tournaments this year, that cover never come off that graph. I use it a little bit. The front, they'll find set on flasher and always will be. I don't have no use for a graph on the front. How many of y'all feel that way? I know there's a few of you. If you're fishing tournaments, trying to do it for a living now, I understand you can't do that. I guess I understand it. 17-foot boats, 150s, limit to tackle. Limit to technology. Oh boy, ain't never gonna happen. Too much money in the sonar companies, too much money in the boat companies, too much patting backs and shaking hands and under the table stuff probably. Or maybe it's above the table, it's all legal, I guess. It's all about the money. Money's a sin. I always thought sex was a sin. Sex is great. The money part sucks. I'm going to work on tackle. I'm going to turn some music now on my stereo. I can play me some Merle Haggard, probably. You know, Merle Haggard sounds good. maybe some Willie, maybe some Waylon, maybe some Ernest Tubb. I'm in a country music frame. Tomorrow I'll be Southern rock. Bye, guys. God bless. Let me know what you think. We'll talk at you later.